I joined Dnipro Hills in 2007. That was the first time when I was the member of the club. But before, like half a year or more, I was visiting as just a guest. And for me, it was the expression pretty much as Livon said. You're young, you want to do something, you find new friends, it's English, it's like it's the whole new world. You would come to the meeting and you will understand, gosh, there are people around you that already work in corporate world or do some great stuff or great projects, and you want just to follow them. You want to come to the meetings not just to learn public speaking and presentation skills, of course it's important, but community of people is much more important that you can have. So for me, I would like to present today the Dnipro Hills from 2007 till 2011, my active years in Dnipro Hills, and to say that probably those were the years when we were younger, we were young and really overconfident. Let's start. Vadim? The first, of course, public speaking. We all come to Toastmasters to talk, to improve our public speaking skills, to make sure that we can talk on every subject with any level of preparation. Big meeting with 300 people? Okay. Small meeting with 5 people and you have to convey them to give you money? It's also okay. No matter which language, no matter what you do, how much do you know, and whether you had actually time to prepare for that, you can speak in after you're a member of Toastmaster. And Dnipro Hills was also the one where we were trying our speeches to make better. And for us, it was really interesting and fun. It was not the process just to take the manuals, to learn them, and to follow them, to be strict about the rules, but also to enjoy the meetings. Vadim? So a lot of pictures here. Actually, Livon is over there, not really recognizable, but a lot of people that probably you would not recognize because they don't visit Dnipro Hills anymore. But all of us were doing the speeches on a regular basis, and that was important to improve. We were preparing, we were taking, we had mentors, and we were supported by the community in order to improve every time, every step we do. Next slide, please. You also would see that we had different meetings. Sometimes people would use visual aids to show what they're speaking about. Sometimes they will just speak. And there was a different settings that we were using in order to speak about some topics. Next slide. I would also like to say that even in those times, we were still following the international Toastmaster rules. Here you would see the cards green, yellow, and red for the timer. That was also used during the meeting. Here, not so visible, but there were tags for the members and for the guests. So everyone could wear a tag, and we could know how to approach the person and what's the name of the person. So we were using all the things that Toastmaster would provide us. We were so strict about the rules, what to use, like starting meetings on time, using all the things, following that everything is brought to the meeting and the meeting is structured and everything is set for the great meeting. So we were doing the same. What about leadership? Of course, Dnipro Hills would not survive if there was not a really good sequence of great leaders in the club. And I really liked about the Dnipro Hills that we were raising leaders. Year after year, people were passing these most important roles of officer team to one each other and teaching each other how to do it. The pictures you would see. Mark Taylor, not here, he's abroad, but he was one of, I think, our greatest people in the club that actually made the Dnipro Hills over the years to happen. Mykola Latansky was even, I think, before the president, he was also the area director, he was one of the coaches and really famous. Irina Taratun here, who is present here as well. And I would like to say that we had both male and female leadership. It's not all the leaders because there were too many of them, but all of them were great. And the club succeeded because of them. The next picture. We had different we have the elections, we had different kind of, I don't know, settings for the elections, and you would see that people were feeling really comfortable. Here is Bogdan Trutsenko hiding his head and trying to explain why he would not be a bad person to join the officer team. Yulia Barchukova, who was also elected for many roles. Then Alena Kolenska, who was just sitting on the floor and meditating while trying to pursue some roles in the Dnipro Hills Club. So we were making fun of these elections as well as taking these roles too seriously. The next step is, let me read, I cannot read what is that. A place for, yes, a place for meetings. Over the time I was in Dnipro Hills from 2007 and 2011, we switched a lot of places. The location was really important, but not so important as people. So from the times we have to switch from place where we were from the International Management Institute, yes, Livon, at Beresteiska. Then we had to go to Lukyanivka. We were in the Kiev School of Economics. We were in the religious institute where we had to cover the crosses at the pictures, so people are not scared that we are really some gang of people, unknown people. Thank you, timer. And we were practicing different places. I would show you now. The first picture, just the regular settings as you have. Offices, some places where we would meet have these more official ones. The next slide. We had meetings in the park. Sometimes when we were not able to get a really good location, we just had to meet in the parks, actually. Here is Mark, and everyone is listening, sitting. Another slide would also be from the park. People are really want to learn. And it's interesting to do it outside because you would gather a lot of new members, actually, because people were passing. It was in English, 2007 or 8. People were like passing, like, what's going on here? What is going on? And you're like, yeah, it's Dnipro Hills club meetings and so on, so it's so fun. Next slide shows that sometimes we met even at yoga places because there was no places to meet, and that was one of the students that just allow us to meet, to sit on the floor, almost meditate and enjoy the meeting, less formal but still valuable meeting. The next one. For me, Dnipro Hills became not just a place where I come and improve my public speaking and leadership skills. It became a place of a people. I think the most valuable connections, as Livon said, I gained through Toastmasters and through Dnipro Hills. We became really good colleagues, friends, and even we had families. And I'm sure you know, like Bogdan Trutsenko, Yulia Barchukova, who are still visiting Dnipro Hills and not Dnipro Hills, but Toastmaster meetings from time to time. They're a couple, and they got met in Dnipro Hills. And it's so wonderful that we could have these different relations. We would have, I don't know, every time you would go, you would say that you're from Dnipro Hills or from Toastmaster, you would get someone to know the system. And for me, the two photos that I could found, which are not really visible, of the friendship that I got through the Dnipro Hills. And over the years, I still have them. And that's the amazing thing that Irina, for example, is one of my best friends, and we have a team of ladies who we met like in 2009 or 2010, and we still communicate. We're still best friends, and it's so amazing that throughout the years, no matter how you change, you still have this kind of light in your eyes when speaking, remember the events, and still understanding each other. Also, what I like about Dnipro Hills at that time, and I would like to encourage you to pursue it in the future and to return to it, is our time outside of Dnipro Hills. We would always, I remember timer, sorry. We would always go to the cafe after the meeting. But also we would go to trips, excursions, some meetings, anything we would do together. We wanted to hang out with each other, and we enjoyed it so much. So the photos is here when we went to Chernihiv region. Was really memorable because of the roads, like bumping the roads. And then we got to palaces and places like this. Also, the next slide would show that, you can switch. This is the trip to Chernihiv. Also, people are learning about the city, trying to find something new. It's also Chernihiv. And then I would like to say that probably one of the things that Dnipro Hills benefited, and we benefit all from that, was being a part of the bigger community. Because no matter how you like the community in your club, you still want to hang out with other people, you want to meet other clubs, you want to visit other clubs, and you want to participate in different events. And before, I see you're nodding, and Livon is nodding, like 4 times per year we knew that there were events like celebration of New Year, some winter carnival, or a spring summer picnic, autumn balls, and we were visiting all together. They were like hanging out in the teams on that. So this is, again, not so visible, but celebration of New Year in the costumes, in different games. We were having fun inviting people to Dnipro Hills. We also would participate in different games, and it was like to learn how to hear sounds and to improve our different skills that would be useful. We would also participate in different quests that Toastmaster would organize, like around the city, communicating with unknown people, doing a specific task like drawing or, I don't know, dancing around some monument and just having fun. And also the next slide will show you some excursions going around the city, as well as the next slide will show different parties, like Grammy's here over there on that picture, who is also still an Art Orchestra member who was visiting, and the Autumn Balls. So you would see that a lot of things that would happen in Dnipro Hills, they were so diverse, but that helped us to live through the life, a really, really interesting life at the time. And for me, I think my years in Dnipro Hills and the years that we had all together in Dnipro Hills are the best. I would like to return to what I had at the beginning. We were young and overconfident. We were having fun, we were organizing it for ourselves, for others, and we were enjoying it. And I would like to leave just for the last slide, picnics, and to say that there are more to come in Dnipro Hills, and I wish it to come much more in years, much more in fun, much more in connections, much more of those things that you could gather. Because public speaking is only one part, but with public speaking, with good presentation skills, you can actually impact the lives of the people. Thank you.